Are you recording?
We're recording.
All right. Woohoo! So welcome to the Movement Weavers Equinox Magical Party Kit. Ben, hi Ben.
Hi, Allison.
So why are we doing this?
Yeah. I've just been imagining doing these virtual hybrid in-person mashup party celebration conversation things for so long and wanting to play with them and have something really juicy to attach them to. So the fact that we're launching this community of movement weavers for the fall with this party, just, such a perfect occasion. And for you and I to be co-creating together as well. Why are you doing this?
Oh, well, I think doing it first off because I said yes. I said yes to this idea that you had, but also because I've really, as you said, there's something that has been really joyful about creating something sort of fun and innovative in terms of the use of the technology in this way, in this distant and virtual and live space. But also because I am so aware that in order for any real change to happen on this planet, people need to be able to access and actualize their gifts. And so it's my fantasy, my hope is that somehow through our process, we get people in touch. If they're not already in touch, we get them in touch with what they're here for, and listening to each other, sharing with each other about what's really sort of driving them or calling them in the world.
May it be so.
So how much time will participating take?
We designed it so it could be a very short amount of time. Our goal is for anybody that feels the call to this to pop in for at least a little bit. If you can find even 10 or 15 minutes in the course of your day, you can contribute some phrases to the group poetry game, or reflect on one of the conversational prompts just on your own, or do the constellation, all these different pieces. So even 10 to 20 minutes on your own, or jumping online with some friends, or finding a group of friends to hang out with, is a way that you can play. And if you want to go deep and spend hours, like we will be here at my house, you can do that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've created a lot of ways to just sort of pick and choose if you want from the kit. And I'll just name that Ben and I were testing out some of the games this morning, and one of the things that we did, we opened up, in this case, a Zoom line. So we weren't in person, we were working together at a distance, and opened up one of the games, and I asked Ben the question and I transcribed his response in the comments, and I thought that worked really well. So that's one way. If you're home and you want to just call somebody up and ask some of the questions or engage in some of the activities, you can do it that way and still keep harvesting. Because harvesting, we really want to hear your responses, what moves and what's moving as you start to play with these games.
Yeah, the harvesting piece is really, I think, what connects everything up, so that even though this is happening in lots of different places and different times and different groups of people, we really are part of one larger engagement. And if we all harvest little nuggets from our respective activities and make that visible to one another, that the sense of that will be much more tangible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you can join right away. So the moment you open up a game, you can start to reflect on it, answer some of the questions, maybe start to harvest some of the responses on your own. But since the games are designed to be party games, they're designed to be exchanges between folks. So we really encourage you to find either an in-person, a partner, or a couple of partners to play with, or you can join live call. On Friday, we're going to have a series of live calls throughout the day. And are we going to do different games on different calls, or I guess it'll be different things?
Well, there's one call where we've specified the one that's happening starting at 3:30 in advance of the equinox itself at 4:02 Eastern time. So that one will be doing the equinox ceremony, and you can join that if you want to be part of the ceremony virtually. We'll have other in-person groups like the group here at our house who are not online. We're just going to be doing that together. Although we'll come onto Zoom at 4:30 and just check in and share some of what emerged from the ceremony for us. The other three calls are at 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 6 p.m. Eastern time. And we'll just kind of see what happens with who shows up there for those. And then that Zoom line is also open if people want to use that as a place to meet up virtually with friends at other times. It's just there, and you can go on and do that, and maybe you'll even bump into some interesting strangers and make some new connections too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of sort of technical pieces. So this is our first time launching this. If you find that you are in a bind that you really want to play, but you're stuck somewhere, you can certainly send us an email. We'll post our email addresses below this video. What else should we say? Do you want to talk about what's in the kit? I mean, I think we've got a pretty good guide to what's in the kit. Are there specific things you want to name about that?
Well, you want to just name each of the elements. I would also, I think I'm going to put my cell phone number up there too, because that's probably, if somebody really needs me quickly, and because we're hosting an in-person party here, I can't promise how much I'll be able to focus on that, but probably a text to my cell is going to be the best way. So we'll have that too. Yeah, and why don't you want to just tell them what we've got in the kit?
Yeah, sure.
I'm just going to preface this by saying it is beautiful. Allison has created these little cards that represent each of the elements, and the color scheme is just so lovely, and the equinox theme, the way it's brought forth, it's really quite a stunning little piece of work. I'm in awe.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to put together, and for me, the art is part of the appeal. I think we want to. I'm really hoping that we're accessing sort of a kind of sensual experience, a sort of contact with really what it means to be alive. You know, this kind of the intention of party is joy, and so we're hopefully activating joy just by pretty things, as well as by authentic connection. So the things what's in the list, we've got 5 things. We've got the first is the conversation piece, which is a series of questions. We called them Cards for Humanity. There's 3 questions there. There's the next piece I have an order in my head. So the next order in my head would be this mini constellation, which can be done as a guided meditation, or it can be done in a small group experiential exercise. The third piece is a poetry game, which you can start anytime, and then on Friday, I think we're going to be putting groups together to make the poems, or something like that.
You can form your own group to make a poem, or all of these things you can do on your own. You know, in that case, you just take on the role of all the group members, or you can be part of a group you organize, or show up on one of our Zoom calls and be part of a virtual group.
Which we're calling, by the way, a great name, Equiverses. Ben came up with that fabulous name. A group poetry game for the equinox. So Cards for Humanity, mini constellation, Equiverses, ceremony, equinox ceremony. And there's a script there that was designed by Marianne Connor. And, I'm just going to say how much I love the ceremony, because for me, a lot of what we're doing is, and what I'm called to do is activate a new way of connecting with nature. And so that's what she's doing with the ceremony. And the 5th piece is this incredible set, these 2 playlists that Ben helped anchor with a collaboration from a bunch of other people.
Especially Twyla Smith.
Twyla, shout out to Twyla, but also Marianne and Rick both contributed.
You.
So thank you all. You should be able to, that you can, even if you don't pay, just as a free Spotify account, I'm able to play all of those playlists in full. So definitely check out our dreaming and dancing playlists.
Yeah. So again, it's online on on Zoom, on Facebook. We have a Google Doc wall that you can use if you don't like Facebook or you want to do something that's a little more sort of artistic, and the wall kind of creates a record in one place of the whole experience. So we might move things from Facebook over there too. And again, that helps sort of knit everything together, this harvesting piece from whatever you do. If you can take even a few minutes to just share some nugget of that back out to the larger group through any of those methods, that will really add to the value of it all. And this is our first go, so we're, it's a little messy, it's a little crazy. If something doesn't go right or you're confused, don't sweat it. Just find what works for you, make something work for you, go with the spirit of it, and it'll all be good, and we'll get better and better at these as the fall continues. It's just the first of many parties.
All right, have fun. Here's my confetti. Do people usually do confetti on an Equinox? I don't know. So welcome to the party. We're so glad you're here.
Woohoo!